Know thyself and you shall know the universe. Yeah, it's true, right? The more in tune we are to ourselves and our inner knowing and our inner rhythms, and just like our own spiral, right? Our own flows, how we are going to be moving through each day, each month, each season. The more and more and more deeply we know ourselves, the easier it is to listen to that inner knowing and to make choices that help us really create the life that we want. I'm sure many of you have experienced this, and so today I, Crystal Franco, want to talk about that with you a little bit more. So if you're live with me today, you can, of course, add things in the comments, and I'll do my best to respond to them live. And being live, who knows what's going to happen, right? All kinds of fun, glitchy type things can always happen when we do these types of things. So if anything happens on your end, feel free to type that in there too. So I'm the type of person who has always been on that journey of self-discovery. I feel like I've been pretty solid in knowing myself and knowing who I am since a very young age. And of course, that's like changed because we all go through phases and we all change and evolve and grow. And we have environmental things that happen and different life experiences that happen that impact us and then bring us new awarenesses and other areas of growth. But today I want to talk mostly about tools. Like, what are the ways that I'll start with that question. What are the ways that you get to know yourself? Do you meditate? Do you find inner knowings and aspects of yourself through taking a bath and other self-care type things like exercise, dancing, tai chi, any sort of body movement? Do you do that from being outside? Do you do it through journaling? Like, what are your tools that you've done to really learn about yourself? Is it through watching something and knowing like the characters that you resonate with and picking up on those little nuances in books or movies or anything like that where you're like, wow, that really resonates with me. That's me. So what is it that you do? And feel free to share that in the comments because I'd love to know everybody else's tools and tactics, right? 'Cause that's how we all learn and grow. Today, though, I want to talk about some of my favorites. When I was really young, I actually got into astrology. I remember being, I don't know, maybe 6, maybe 8. I was definitely under 10. When I found out like my sun sign is that of a Gemini in Western astrology. And I started exploring a lot of that. And once I was in my early 20s, I dove into it way more and I learned all about the different houses and all the different signs, all the different planets and everything. And that was really eye-opening for me to be able to learn these different components that make up who I am based on the stars, right? But it gave me different insights for me to like love myself even more because it's like, oh, this is a component of my cosmology, right? I don't know if that's even a word, but we'll use it. It's part of my cosmos, that type of energetic makeup. And then I did a lot with like numerology as well, and numerology can really help you know a little bit more of like your life purpose and like where you're going in life and what you're here to do. It hones in on that a little bit more. And so being able to like step into some of that, like the areas that really resonated with me as being like a spiritual leader or an educator, a teacher, of actually being really compassionate, even though sometimes I don't appear that way in some of my relationships, apparently. Know who I'm talking to. Anyway, and then the past few years, and I went into the Akashic Records a long time ago, again, like super early 20s, like 20, 21 years old. I went into the Akashic Records for myself, but it's been the last like year and a half that it's been really profound for me. And I've been seeing, like, when I'd go there before, it was just like what am I seeing for me? And it was a lot of just seeing my past. I didn't go into seeing my actual soul profile. And that has been huge for me of understanding myself. And so a lot of you who have been like seeing different posts of mine or who know me or any of that know that I've been doing this Akashic Records work for other people as well. And it's been really cool to see like these actual profiles of people's souls, because that's something that doesn't change, you know? And it's cool to see how it connects with our astrology or our numerology or these different aspects out there, because they do show us these blueprints, you know? But my guess is that if you were born and believe in past lives and you're born over and over again as a human, that your astrology is not always going to be the same. I don't have any facts on that or any sort of solid evidence on that. But you know, we come here as men and women and different things, so I could see our astrology being different, especially with how our choices change our karma. Anyways, back to like the soul profile. So when you go into the Akashic Records and actually look at your soul, you're able to see what like your dominant energies are. And so you get to see more of like your purpose on this planet and what choices are going to help you live to be really congruent with like who you are. And whenever we're living with that congruency of like who we are, life just gets so much more easy in all the areas of our life. And of course, you know, when we look at one area of our life and we do work there, that can bleed into this other area of our life and help create that. That's been a theme that's been coming up lately as I've been talking to people out in the world, is just that ripple effect of how these different areas, even a conversation I had just before coming here, led into that. And so each person's soul profile is different as well. And so if you're trying to make choices and you're like trying to like copy or do what say like your best friend's doing or this person on the internet or whatever, it might not work for you. And that's because you have a different soul profile, a different energy, you know, energy center and like way to show up in the world. So there are people who are meant to be really bold truth speakers, you know, they're meant to be out there and like speaking all of these truths. There are people who are meant to be very physical and in their physical bodies. And that would show up differently than even if you're trying to do something like that is public and seen, right? And there are people who their main focus is that of like beauty or creation. And these are just a couple examples, but it's a really neat tool to figure out and really dive into like understanding who you are. And then you're able to like resonate with that and feel with that and do work that like surrounds that, make choices that surrounds that. Doesn't even need to be work. In fact, generally it should be a little bit more playful, right? So that you can go out into the world and in your own home and like configure things to like work for you in congruence with that. And then it really helps you know yourself even more and be able to like really dive into like how you're feeling and how does this feel when I feel this, you know, when I put this on, like, do I resonate with it? Does it make me light up? Which is another great tool of like, whenever you're trying stuff on, does it make me feel light and open and free, or does it feel really heavy and constricting? That's a cool tool from like Access, actually. If you're aware of anything about Access consciousness, that's a tool from there, even though I think it's a common one all around as well. But knowing yourself is kind of like a key to being able to really find balance and harmony in all the areas of your life. Even knowing what type of body work you want, or energy work, or exercise, or what food to eat, or anything like that. Like, it's all in here, right? So the more we can like listen and know and understand ourselves, the more we can continue to make choices that resonate with all of that. So it's a really important thing, and it's something I just kind of wanted to give those little snippets on today. And of course, if you want to know more about the records, I do want to give one other little thing. about it, which is, beyond knowing like who you are. When I go into the records for somebody, I do look up some of those karmic blocks and restrictions, so that way we can see what else, what negative choices you've been making that have been like holding you back in life, and then we kind of clear those out so that you can write new things into your records. And so with that, I am doing another sale for the holidays, which is that code of records, capital R E C O R D S 5050, so you can get $50 off if you are interested in having somebody else dive in to your records and see what shows up. Otherwise, this is all just for me to encourage you to explore the different ways for you to like really get to know yourself. And like, I want to know how you do that, and I want you to be doing it, because the more we each really listen to our own energies and our own being, the better everything on the planet can be, because we're all here doing like our purpose, which is beneficial for the entire cosmos, since we're all one, right?